Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wellness and Wahala podcast. A Wellness and Wahala warrior is a winner, a world changer, wise, and winsome. They are dedicated to tackling Wahala, which means issues and problems in Nigerian Pidgin, for the good of humanity. Our tribe of subject matter experts in our village are a voice to the voiceless. Oya, join me, the former diplomat and public health advisor, Dr. Tomiya Demokun, better known as Oma Aba, as she gives you the best public health, wellness, and Wahala gist with wonderful people using their compassion to take action to put us on the pathway to a Wahala-free life. Over to the Wellness and Wahala podcast show. Thank you. Bless up. NIDO radio show, the Governor's Gist show, and also streamed on Wellness and Wahala podcast. We have our special VIP guest today, yo. And, we have a great show for you. And he's really a lifeline. So this gist is about our lifeline gist. And we have Dr. Emeka, who is our very important guest, our VIP guest today. So, and I have my co-host on the line, Mr. Collins. So first, Mr. Collins, introduce yourself, and then over to Dr. Emeka to tell us who you are and your profile and your bio, so people can know how important we have this topic that we have today, which is, securing your life from Wahala. So, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. I really, really appreciate it. This is like the first recording that we're having for the new year. And, as much as we talk about life, we also talk about, what comes after life, which we all know about is a debt that we all owe, whether we like it or we don't like it. The question is, we pray that it doesn't come soon. We pray that it comes when we are older in life, so that the young shall bury the old. As the Igbo culture used to say, let the young bury the old, not the old burying the young, So today we have a very dear brother, someone that I consider a good friend, and someone that is, I'm actually one of his clients. My family are one of his clients, and I really, really believe and thank him for, showing me the way in terms of life insurance, its benefits, and the rest of it. I'm talking about no other person other than Dr. Emeka Ibekwe. He's actually an electrical engineer, PhD, worked in aerospace industry just like I did. He was with Boeing, he was with McDouglas. He's a very highly talented man. And at the same time, he does this insurance business on the side as a means of helping African diaspora in a way to build generational wealth, and for us not to pass our responsibilities right to our kids, to minimize the GoFund, the WhatsApp group and GoFundMe that we usually set up whenever we lose one of our brothers. But nonetheless, I don't want to go too deep. I would like him to be able to talk and, tell us who he is, what he does and what actually motivated him to go the direction that he's going. Thank you very much. Dr. Ibekwe, we're so glad to have you. Happy New Year once again.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Collins and Vice President, Dr. Tony, for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to share this wonderful tool to make things better as we celebrate life when people pass on, for the people that we leave behind. So a little bit of myself. I have a background of aerospace engineering, mechanical engineering, and I've always, for the past 2 decades, have involved myself in sales, real estate sales, while I worked my interest in engineering child of two educators, so I've always thought of myself as a student for life. So I explored other opportunities and other things, even though I have that background of it. Engineering, I had a lot of interest in doing business. And I've done sales in real estate for about 2 decades, just focusing on mostly on my own personal investments. But later on in life, as things changed and my own personal experiences, I started looking into I realized the importance of life insurance, and I think in 2020 I went into it. I got a license and everything, and during the COVID break, I decided to start doing it more, and here we are today, and that's what brings me here to share this product and the challenges we have as Nigerians, that it doesn't come natural, second nature for us, because we never grew up having this type of insurance. So breaking the stigma, reaching people, and trying to make sure that we have that knowledge, and knowledge is power, and transfer wealth and generational wealth, and make sure we leave something behind for our family to be comfortable and manage our loss when we pass, hopefully after longevity, living long. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much
for that. It's very important, and as Mr. Collins testified, I'm also one of your clients. I think that it's important to secure our lives. We secure everything else. We have car insurance, home insurance, but the most important is our life, and especially in the Nigerian and African diaspora groups. It's sad that we see a lot of GoFundMe. There's not a lot of mechanisms, which gets me to, or the life insurance mechanism is not being utilized if people are doing GoFundMe. So, which gets me to my first question to you. Can you share some insights on the importance of life insurance and promoting overall financial wellness? Over to you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, that's a very important question, because life insurance offers a way to provide for your loved ones, to replace that provision that you used to have when you were there. So it's like representing you when you're gone, in a most gracious way. It pays the sum of money that may help protect them from financial impact of your passing. Life insurance can be an important aspect of retirement planning. Even if you're not passed yet, you're planning your retirement and helping you get that peace of mind and financial security for your family. How does it help protect your family? It can help protect your family by providing funds to pay off debt, the usual debt that you have, which is your final expense, to replace the lost income, transfer wealth when you pass on. There are 4 things that you that affect your assets when you pass. It affect your assets in general, which is your retirement income, it's usually significantly less than what you could be making millions, and it will now drop down to maybe $50,000 or something a year, or even less. Um, Health expenses, of course, it's easy to assume that, or it wouldn't be a wrong guess to think that as you age, your health declines. And also, even if your health didn't decline, you might need more expenses to keep you in good shape. You might need assisted care. That's a dead thing that affects you. And of course, the final expenses. And what are those in the breakdown? Health expense. You want to make sure that the medical expenses are covered. The retirement care. You want to make sure that any expenses resulting from nursing home and home health care are covered. You don't want your friends and relatives to have these obligations. While you're working right now, you can plan all this, and so that your kids or your family can be taken care of, dependents that are, younger, not the older dependents. So you take care of that for them, and it will be like a gift. So most of their funding will be looking forward for the younger generation. Final expenses, of course, you don't want the people that your family to be responsible for your final expense and debt and estate taxes, whatever those things that you used to pay that you can't pay as you pass, don't go away. So life insurance can take care of that. And of course, the retirement income, because most life insurances are built to, be an alternating investment where you can, get some cash value, and you have access to some cash, and also an option of a lifelong income from those insurance investments. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir. Those are very, very good tips and gems of wisdom.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Doctor, when you finish. These are very, very good answers. Something that we in the African community, especially African diaspora, we tend to overlook such a very, very vital tool. Because I can tell you that for the fact that in Africa, the way things are being done, most especially in Nigeria, when somebody passes, it becomes the responsibility of the children to figure out a way how to bury the individual, not knowing that there are so many opportunities and resources that they can tap into in order to be able to do it. But unfortunately, due to the fact that insurance companies back home in Nigeria are not reliable, so sometimes they say, you will pay them. When you want to get from them, it becomes a Wahala issue. You have to go to court non-stop before they even drop a penny. So I guess maybe we carried out preconceived perception, towards overseas, and that really hinders us from making the right decision. So that actually brings me to the second question that we have. What are the common misconceptions, people have about life insurance, and how can we be able to address them so that they will be comfortable to buy into this idea and not be the victim? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir. This is a very important question, because that is what has been plaguing those of us in this industry, or trying to make a difference and bring this home to us. So I don't have a lot of them in my head, but I did a research, and the zebra says there's like 12 of them here. So I'm giving them credit for that. The zebra.com. So myth number one is life insurance is expensive. But it turns out that if you buy them early, if you're just having your kid today and you buy it, you start planning every child, every baby. You get it as you're getting your diapers, and just forget about it. It will be as low as $50 or $100, depending on what on the death benefit and the type of insurance, whether it's term or whole life or universal. So there's always something to fit every pocket. There's always something out there. You just get what is you're comfortable paying, and just get something. Whatever amount it will make that difference for your family. When you pass. Second myth is life insurance is only for funeral and burial related costs. No, not necessarily, because the policy is also a financial safety net. If you pass away and can no longer provide for your family and dependents, so your beneficiaries can have money to pay for their mortgage, children's education, and things like that. And if your child is insured, sometimes our children pass before us, and they have school debt and things like that. Life insurance can take care of that, and especially if you co-sign for your child. That issue has been taken care of, so you can focus on mourning and healing from your loss, rather than thinking about, how am I going to pay this bill? Another myth is the medical exam part, that you have to take a medical exam. Some people don't want that. Not all of them. And there are various policies that will accept just checking MIB, which is Medical Information Bureau of your medical data, and not actually do a test. But then your cost of premium might increase a little bit. So there's always options around those. The fourth one is that life insurance is for those with dependents. Not really, because you could have a company that you want to leave as a legacy, and your life insurance could take care of, to keep it running when you pass away. And it could be, you could decide, even if you didn't have like a company to run, to be a charitable trust, to donate to or to a university, to something that you love, have your name on a plaque in the zoo, something to carry on, and people will see that when they go to the zoo, because you donated some of your life insurance there, and that way people remember you if that's what you want for your legacy to be out, your name to be out there for doing good. Another myth is group insurance through work is enough, and I mean Group insurance is really for death while you're working, so they just cover you while you're working, but when you retire, most times your group insurance will not carry on with your retirement, take you to your retirement. And if you go to get another insurance after, it will become expensive because you're much older when you retire. So even while you're working, when you're actually making the money and you're younger, that's the time, even though they've offered you that additional group work insurance, you should think wisely and pay the small premium to secure something that will carry you through retirement, through the end of life. Something small enough that your Social Security can take care of if your income diminishes or becomes so small. So it's still covered, as expected. When you retire, usually your income goes down a bit or a lot. So as you get your first job at 20 years old, they offer you that work insurance. Take it. It's nothing. But also put down that $20, $50 for the one that will carry you through life, through the end of life. So when you retire and your group insurance falls off, that will carry on. Okay, another myth is that stay-at-home parents don't need insurance. But that's not true. Everybody has expenses. Stay-at-home parents, then most times they're not bringing in money. So you think, if I lose that partner, I don't lose an income. But then your partner who's a stay-at-home could be taking care of things like babysitting, daycare, childcare expenses, even housekeeping and homeschooling, things like that. So when you lose that partner, you find out that if they had life insurance, that could absorb some of that cost in hiring a childcare expense while you go off to work, as the case was when your partner was there taking care of the kids, and of course housekeeping and things like that. So life insurance is for everybody, even the kids, the stay-at-home parents, everybody. Another one is I'm too young to have life insurance. The seventh one, but that's a myth, because the younger the better for you. That's when you should get the insurance. And of course, like I mentioned before, your kids you could co-sign your loans for your kids. And unfortunately, sometimes, kids pass before us. Accidents happen and things like that. And you're stuck with a loan, and of course the mourning and everything, you're thinking of the expenses, but such insurance will take care of the financial aspect of that loss, so you can actually heal, you can have time to grieve and mourn the loss of your child, rather than thinking, how am I going to make this build? I'm too old to buy life insurance, because people feel that, as you get older, it gets too expensive. But as the case in most people from in the diaspora, we because it was never our culture, and we relocated at some point, a good portion of us, and getting insurance is something new. So people think, oh, it's just too expensive. But you can actually find, you know, insurance that will take care of it. And as I've planned with NIDO, we can share the cost of those expensive insurance through our groups. We can get a good quality insurance and just share the premiums and the expenses within a large group. Like if we're 1,000 people, a bill that will be going for about maybe $200 each person could be reduced to, if you just share a few policies, to be reduced to as small as $4 or something of that nature. There's a myth about pre-existing conditions disqualify you from insurance, but that's where shopping around for various insurances helps, because some underwriting will still approve you with your some friendly underwriting will approve you with even with diabetes, heart conditions. Like myself, I do have a heart condition, and I was able to get my own private insurance, and it just depends on the insurer that you go to, and you can apply, put in multiple applications here and there, and see who approves you. Well, another myth is that other investments are better. The better returns from other investments. So why should I go in life insurance? The thing about life insurance is that when you compare it to keeping your money in the bank, usually when you put your money in the bank, they're not going to say, put down who your beneficiary is. You probably have to just create a different trust somewhere, another paperwork. But this is built in with life insurance, and some of the life insurance products like annuities and the annuities and just regular insurance. As you're being underwritten, you put it in the application who your beneficiary is going to be, and everything is wrapped into one. So there's no question when you pass in getting those funds back, unlike the other types of investments. So
absolutely,
if you work with a financial guy, those other types are very good too, but you have to make sure that you leave a little bit for life insurance, and you can put the rest of the money wherever that makes sense for your financial situation.
Yes.
And the three other ones is permanent life insurance is only for the wealthy. We've already covered that. It's not just for the wealthy. My life insurance coverage only needs to be twice my salary. But they're saying that, it has to be something like 6 to 10 times your salary if you're thinking of really covering everything for your loved ones when you pass. Thank you so much.
Exactly. You know what you just said really caught my attention, because looking at it from all perspectives, I think it's a very, very vital investment that we have to consider. In as much as we tend to overlook it and say, well, I'm healthy, I'm in a good shape, nothing is going to happen to me, this and that, blah, 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 blah. I think that we have to really look deep down and say, no, this is very essential, because I can tell you that there's no burial, even here, or even here in the US, that will cost you minimum of 10 to 15,000 burial. Just a normal, decent burial, you know, or maybe back home in Nigeria. Because back home in Nigeria, we know how much it costs. Just to take a body from here back home to Nigeria will cost you. It won't cost you minimum of $10,000. And not to talk about, getting it out when it gets to Nigeria, transporting it to the person's village and where they're going to bury that person. So in Nigeria, you should even be looking at least 2 or 3 times the price, which is about $20,000-$30,000. The question is, how many of us has $20,000 or $30,000 more kept aside? So something like that happens that we can dip in our pocket and say, okay, we're going to use this to do this. Majority of us will end up going to the bank to go and borrow, look for a way to borrow the loan. Or maybe we'll borrow against our 401k and the rest of it. But is it something that we want to do? Especially when you still have kids. So I think it's a very, very vital tool that we definitely, especially the diaspora, have to look into, knowing that this is something that actually will eventually happen, but we don't know when it's going to happen. And you said something that really caught my attention. Am I too young to buy life insurance? No. The younger, the better, because at that age, you'll be able to get a better deal. At that age, you can lock into a deal that you can even carry on till you get to whatever years that God gives you. I know buying life insurance at an older age, of course, is going to cost a lot. Because you have to remember, the older the person gets, the more the body cells are weaker, the more the person is, more, how will I call it, more porous to all kinds of, diseases and, all kinds of sickness. So the younger, the better. And I think it's very, very important that we look at it from that perspective. So you pretty much said a whole lot regarding this life insurance. You gave so many examples on what we can, look into and how we can look into that. Sorry, sir, you wanted to say something?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with that. From what you said last time, I said yes, sir.
Yeah.
You touched on a few more points, and I agree completely with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Emeka. You actually answered a lot of our questions as this is being streamed on Nigerian and Diaspora Organization, NIDO Radio, and the Wellness and Wahala podcast. You gave us wonderful gems of wisdom for elderly, for different age group, for the younger generation, which is more affordable. The younger you get it for your family. And of course, the amount, we always say a good inheritance is leaving, for your children's children. So not just your children, but your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, making sure that you have a robust life insurance plan so they will not be able to struggle is extremely important and is really a lifeline for our community. So that gets me, since you've answered plenty of the the questions that I did have with a lot of the tips that you gave, I wanted to ask about the Nigerian Diaspora Organization group, and other diaspora groups. How can we unite? Because it's powerful when we have our own group policy. So, like we have a BOD, we have a BOT, Board of Trustees, Board of Directors at our NIDO, so it includes other NIDO chapters, not just NIDO South Savannah, but, NIDO in Canada and Brazil. How can we unite to have, can you talk about the benefits of all of us coming together and putting together a good group policy where all of us can benefit? You've talked about the individual policies that we can all get, and I can testify that, I went through a very user-friendly process, and you sent me many reminders, even when I missed meetings, on how to get my policy activated for me and my family. Mr. Collins has his own policy, but how can we come together as a group to really eliminate this last-minute planning and GoFundMe mentality? How can NIDO globally come together, starting with our NIDO Americas. Over to you, sir.
Yes, particularly for NIDO, we have that strength in numbers. We're a lot of us out here, and we all have a common um, um, limitation, which is that we don't have that in culture. We don't have that background of getting life insurance when we were born. But together, we can come together and alleviate the issue of the expense of trying to get the insurance when we are older, and maybe result into group insurance, discounted group insurance that that don't really, they're not a whole of them designed for social groups, and the ones designed for work. NIDO is not really a W2 group or a work group. They don't even, it's not guaranteed that you get a payout from the types of insurances available out there. So as a group, we can invest in those private insurances that we talked about, the universal, the index universal life, which is like the whole life that has cash value in the sense that you can access money for as a living benefit to do whatever you want, just like going to the bank. Those are not designed for groups, but other communities have been taking advantage of the fact that it has cash value to get together and buy a few of those policies, share the bill, buy enough to get to our budget. If you buy 20 policies, we'll give you a bill of $4 for each person. Then you walk it back, and that 20 policies could grow to have a cash value of $1 million in 30 years. And that's the kind of investment that you're looking to do. So when if those 20 policyholders within your group don't pass, but others pass, you can access that cash value and withdraw that cash value. And if you have $1 million already in there, 30,000, 20,000, take care of that very expense. And there's one thing that NIDO members have in common, which is that we are Nigerians, and we want to, most of the time, we want to be buried at home near our, family. Maybe if your dad has already passed, you want to be right next to him in the village. Very nice. And that expense alone is already about $15,000. So when you pass, your income has passed, you're talking about tasking your family for $15,000. But as a group, if we have that already cut out for everybody, because you're paying $4 every month, you're sure that that group will take care of at least that month and bring you home. And with that cash value that accumulated over 20 years, 30 years, it's now $1 million. And you can apply this to other investments. If somebody got cancer, if the group agrees, maybe the person doesn't have coverage or has a little gap in some copay that is alarming. The insurance is not covering everything. Maybe you have $4,000 to get chemo, to pay. The group can reach into that cash value and keep that man alive, or that woman alive, or that child alive, and that's what this kind of policy do for you to solve other problems, even if it's other living benefits, even if it's scholarship to school. You've made so much cash value, it's $2 million. You know you can afford to take one or two, maybe the best children of NIDO members, the top producers. You awarded some scholarship to one of them. You can do that. You can pay school fees for $100,000 or whatever it is as an incentive to carry this along and keep it going. And that's the aspect of, coming together and as a group and do what other communities, other cultures have been doing, the Jewish, Chinese, they've been sharing the expensive policies and making it affordable for themselves because they have that unity. So we have to work on doing things like that for ourselves and moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir. That is awesome, and I'm happy you said it. Other diaspora migrant groups, Jewish and Indian groups, so many of them, they unite and they have this cash value incentives that we can do a lot, from scholarships to investments, projects. A lot of people have issues with housing. There's other groups I know that they come together and they, buy condominiums, affordable housings, both here in the U.S. and back at home where they live. They own mansions, So it is extremely important that you mentioned that. So it's not just paying out when you pass away. You actually have the cash value policy, which once you invest in it, like NIDO, it's over 10 years old. If we started this group policy 10 years ago, we would have been, had millions in payouts that we can have been able to tap in.
Dr. NIDO is over 20 years old.
Oh, 20, my bad, 22 decades. So even 2 million, or more. So, but the time is now, I think, and I'm so happy to have you as our lifeline guest, because it is really painful with the wahala that, we see when many people pass away, or even when they're alive, they struggle financially. When this is an investment tool, when people talk about diversifying their investments and stocks and savings, a lot of rich have, cash value life insurance policies that is also part of their portfolio that we never knew about, that I, just started finding out about through you. So thank you for that, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for having me.
No, it's quite a very, very extremely resourceful information that I think NIDO in general should tap into, not just NIDO Americas, but as well as other NIDOs, even NIDO Asia, NIDO Brazil, and NIDO, the rest of all NIDOs.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
They should really tap into that, because it will really, really help them out a whole lot. Not just here in America, because I know life insurance is something that, overall people actually, in different parts of the world, it's something that we all know that is very, very essential. It's one of those things that I actually convinced my old boys in Nigeria, the DMJ's old boys for furniture, the 95 says, I convinced them in buying a life insurance, they threw here's a life insurance. Because as much as we talk about life, we also talk about death, and eventually it's going to happen. It will definitely happen, and nobody knows when it's going to happen. So these are very, very important, and we really thank you so much for making yourself available to be able to share this vital information. I encourage all diasporans, I encourage all, all members, whether you're a NIDO member, it's not limited only to NIDO member, please. Anybody that is listening to these NIDO Radio, South Savannah, Georgia, please feel free. Dr. Emeka is going to leave his information very soon on this podcast so that you can be able to reach out to him and be able to avail feel free to talk to him, tell him what you can afford, how you want to do it, and he will be able to walk you through that way. I think it's very, very essential. Let's let it be one of the good investments that we're going to make in 2024.
Yes.
I know we all want to build big mansions in Africa and do all kinds of stuff, ride big cars and the rest of them, not knowing that life that is working so hard for all these things need also to be taken care of, in case something happens. We don't pray for that, but let's be ready. It is better for us to be proactive than to be reactive. Like I always tell people, instead of calling people, forming a WhatsApp group, go fund me, go do this, go do that, let's figure out a way how we can prevent it going forward right now. As they say in Igbo, today is still early. Let's start today. It will definitely yield something. There are so many insurance facilities out there that one can avail. It doesn't have to be $1 million. It doesn't even have to be $100,000. It doesn't even have to be $50,000. Just get something you can afford that is basic. In case if something happens, your family will see where they can stand on and be able to do the needful, rather than hoping that people are going to contribute or people are going to do this or that. Yes, we all contribute for others and we expect others to contribute for us. But nonetheless, let's not put our family through this shame, because I tell you, sometimes it looks like a shame when the family is asking for money to be able to bury their loved one. Please. Thank you very much, and goes back to you, Dr. Tony. Thank you.
Thank you once again for being our VIP guest, Dr. Emeka Ibekwe, on this wonderful Nigerian and Diaspora radio show. And I also wanted to share an African proverb related to securing your life from Wahala. It is, do not stand in a place of danger, trusting in miracles. Once again, do not stand in a place of danger, trusting in miracles. I think it is very dangerous not to have a life insurance policy, and even more dangerous, when we have a group like Nigerian and Diaspora group that can come together and unite and have a group policy is extremely important. And as you said, you talked about the Index Universal Life Insurance policy that you quoted that NIDO can do. But please, can you share with us your contact information, your email, if you are on social media, how can people contact you, Dr. Emeka? And if you have any last words before we close out. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. President and Madam VP. I'm happy to have talked about this. And you can reach me at 619-850-6879. Again, it's 619-850-6879. Via text or phone call, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can find me on WhatsApp with the same number, 619-850-6879. I believe my name there is Ibekwe Insurance. I'm part of the NIDO group too, so you can reach out to me through that group, the official group and the social group and the NIDO Savannah South group through WhatsApp, and from there we can have a conversation and see how we can get you or your group insured and ready for the next thing, and move and produce generational wealth. From now on, we start planning for our children's children, and that's how they've always done it. And we want to make it our culture now to look forward and not just looking at today only. You can look at today, but you plan for the future. so that you imagine a future without poverty, without struggle for your kids, and so on. And you give them that culture also, and they plan for their own kids, then we're able to wipe out poverty and just maintain generational wealth because we're passing on the culture. It's just like when you're passing on a culture of farming and you want to have farmers all the way around, or you show them how to farm or how to develop a skill or maintain a skill within a family. If you do iron working, you see your father, your children will be in that same line. We want to do the same thing with this type of generational wealth.
Yes.
Investment through insurance, which is new to us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Ibekwe. We really appreciate it, and thank you very much, Dr. Tony. I just want the listeners and anyone that is listening to this to know that this is coming from NIDO Radio South Savannah, Georgia. We are online 24/7 streaming radio that discusses issues affecting African in diaspora as much as Africans that live in America and the rest of the world. So feel free to tune in anytime, wherever you are. Once you have an internet connection, you can pull up the website, NIDO Radio. That's the one and only NIDO Radio South Savannah, Georgia. And listen to what we have. We have so many things coming this 2024. Yes. And boy, I tell you, you need to come on board. You need to listen. You need to pay attention because a lot is coming.
Yes.
A lot is coming. I guarantee you for that.
We kicked off
There'll be a lot of issues that we discussed.
Yes,
go ahead.
We kicked off this year with our VIP guest, Dr. Emeka, which is really a lifeline for what we need to do to come together and unite and invest in our life, and to try to have a policy, as you stated before, that we can have a payout, index universal life insurance through the Nigerian Diaspora organization group, starting from South Savannah, but at the global level, the Americas, we have NIDO in different areas. So I thank you so much. This is also being streamed on Wellness and Wahala podcast, so which is on all podcast outlets globally. So thank you so much for being our VIP guest. If you have any final words, let us know, and we thank you for being on our show, so we can close out. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Mecca, and thank you, Dr. Tomi. Thank you, and you all have a good day. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. TT low key, night job was good. Hey, you see this African dance? It's all about the waist. We gon' rock tonight, like we ain't got no worries. And baby, pull it down, do me jeje. Slow it down, cause it's like my jeje. No worries for tomorrow. Let's enjoy the night though. Bring out your finest clothes though, and leave the stress at home. It's party time with my besties. Got the south dripping heavy. Pulled up in the Benzie. Yeah. Popping bottles of that Henny. It's no pretending. All the sweet boys wanna lock us down. The pillars too hot. Money large, can't count the way I'm moving my body like I ain't seen nobody. You can't shout. Let us dance till the sun comes out. Oh yeah, see this African dance. It's all about the waist. We gon' rock tonight, like we ain't got no worries. Baby, pull it down, do me jeje. Slow it down, cause it's like not Africa, Africa, Africa way. Africa, Africa, Africa way. See my waistline, you like the way I rewind. You catch a vibe every time it moves. And I see how the way you stay on my body, you make a girl wanna break down low. Keep it low key, but every time you around, you make a girl wanna lose control. I'm on the waistline, we only got one life tonight. Let's celebrate time. Oh yeah, take it down low, low, low. Spray this money on the floor, floor, floor. Watching my body wine. Sweet baby, you so fine, fine, fine. You see this African dance? It's all about the waist. We gon' rock tonight, like we ain't got no worries. Baby, pull it down, do me judge it. Slow it down, cause it's like not judge it. My car, next. African dance. African way. African dance.